All right, we are live on Twitch, and I think even today the lighting's a little bit different. I don't know, this glare it's difficult because like there's still glare on the screen, which is kind of annoying. But because I got these glasses specifically for it. But if I look up, right, if I look directly at the camera, which I'm supposed to be doing anyways, the glare doesn't happen. I have to resist the urge to look at the screen, at my monitor where my face is. They say that that's why Zoom doesn't work as well for conversation because we're looking at our face while we're speaking to the other person. So if you're ever on Zoom, make sure to turn off your face. All right. Turn off your face when you're talking to people. Turn off your phone when you're talking to people. Turn off yourself when you are talking to people. Turn on do not disturb so that you can be present with people, all right? So I'm looking directly into this camera. I can't see anything else except for this camera, but that's okay because I'm looking directly into your eyes. Whoever is watching this, I'm seeing into your soul. Jesus, you're sovereign over my mind, body, and soul. That's something I've been praying. But it's a special day because yeah, I my my arm was all messed up and hurting and all this stuff, and I met with an old friend from high school who I played baseball with, and a lot of my story and a lot of my hurt pride came at the fall of baseball, right? I was a pitcher. I was pretty good. I would train with my dad, and eventually I had thrown out my arm from pitching too much, and that whole area, right, along my arm that goes all the way up to my shoulder, where they would do like Tommy John surgery, that kind of even goes up all the way to my main finger, right, the pointer finger, where you shoot with. All that stuff has been affected from throwing too many pitches. And so to deal with that, and to sort of be reminded of that time in my life, that was the transition between middle school and high school, my freshman year. I met Jeremy in the locker room, hanging out, and it was pretty beautiful to have a conversation about how tough both our lives have been, and to just try and keep pushing despite that. I brought up this idea that when one is feeling like they're drowning, um, it doesn't mean that they're out of breath, right? That I actually have lyrics about that. But at the same time, I learned through scuba diving that one of the first things you do when somebody is drowning, if you're their buddy, is you got to make sure to throw out the weights. And the weights are what keep you neutrally buoyant. The weights are there, and you actually create trim, right? You have to make sure that you're perfectly weighted enough to be able to go deep enough into the ocean, right? I got certified to scuba dive at 60 feet. Um, and you have to make sure that you're weighted properly. But if those weights are dragging you down, right? There's lots of clips and stuff, so you can let go of certain things, but you can't let go of the tank, right? You need that. You need the ability to give somebody else your oxygen. You need to be able to attach yourself to them. But there's these special emergency weights, that are mainly about that neutrally buoyant state. And if you get rid of those weights, you can easily float to the surface. And so sometimes when you're feeling like you're drowning, it's because you're holding on to something that allowed you to go deeper. Maybe it allowed you to go deeper in the past, but now you got to let go of those weights because they're dragging you down. Whether that's a relationship that you're holding on to that isn't serving you anymore, a core belief that is turning you into something that you're not. Whatever it is, you need to make sure that you are finding out what you're holding on to and letting go of that. And so resentment is a big part of that, feeling like people owe you things. Sometimes you go down deep into the depths searching for someone because they you feel like they owe you something. You feel like you feel like you got to go back down into the depths of your sorrow and your past because you're searching for something that you left down there. That when you were younger, you were able to just dive down deep and explore the ocean and have that exploratory mindset, but you got scared and you dropped something down there, but now you're going back there to get it. And maybe actually you, that thing, you need to go back. and get that thing, but it requires you to let go of something else. You always have to go back down there into that ocean and find something of value that you left there, and you want to get it back. But the only way to get it back is you have to sacrifice. You have to let go of something else and leave it down there. And you don't know. It might stay down there, and you might be able to go back there when you're in a better place. But right now, you don't have the ability to take both of those things with you. I'm thinking of the movie Avatar, where they would free dive because they're blue monsters. They're blue, giant winged sea creatures. What do they look like? Let me find a picture of Avatar. Oh shoot. Uh-oh. My keyboard has decided to stop working. Hold on. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Uh-oh. Shoot. My keyboard has decided uh-oh. All of my keyboards are not working. Okay. Let me Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? The keyboards were working. It was just typing on a different screen. Okay, Avatar. What? Come on. What is going on? Jeez. Okay. It's only allowing me to type on one screen. Let's try this. Jeez. Okay. I don't know what's happening. This is, but this is unedited, unscripted. So we're gonna let this, there we go. That was weird. Okay, Avatar, blue, deep sea, immediately it says demon. Avatar, blue, deep sea. Look at these guys. Look at these weird tribal, whatever these guys are. Okay. But they would dive deep, and you would have them, you'd have these sea creatures, and they had to, there's a scene where they had to go rescue somebody, and that was sort of at the end of the movie, right? And they had to be down there for only a certain amount of time, and so that you had to triage, you had to decide what's important, what's worth saving, what's worth salvaging, how, and someone had to sacrifice their life for somebody else at the end. I wish I was more beautifully articulating this scene. It really made me want to free dive. It really made me want to go and learn how to do that. And I eventually did get scuba certified, and I dove in the Philippines, and it was beautiful. And the safest that I felt down there was when I was 60 feet under. It's so funny, like when I went into the Hawthorne swimming pool to get certified, it's like 3 feet below. And I remember being 3 feet below, just closing my eyes with the tank on, like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And all I had to do was just stand up, and I could get air. I mean, the tank's kind of heavy, right? And all I had to do was just stand up. But it was real funny because the safest I felt was 60 feet under. 60 feet under. Because I had committed. I had done all the proper training. I had put my trust in the people that I was there with. I was allowing myself to just be under the water, not thinking about if I was scared, because yeah, sure, I might be scared, but there was nothing I could do about it. There's nothing I could do about it. And so I just had to be okay with it. Just had to be okay with it. And so I'm embracing that. But there are times when the Lord is going to call me to go deeper than I'm comfortable with, or climb a mountain I'm not so comfortable with, but I got to know that when the air is thin, things are going to fall away. Today, I can't quite exert myself in the same way. I can't quite exert myself the way that I might think, with my arm sort of messing me up a little bit. I'm very sore. Like, I can't imagine if this is day 2, I got to figure out some sort of routine. I have to continue to learn about ergonomics. I have to mess up my studio again. I have to make sure that this is gonna work long term. Because doing it one way, with unlimited time, energy, and resources is different than doing it with constraints. And so sometimes you only have so much gas left in the tank or so much air left in the tank, and you got to make split second decisions about what you're willing to hold on to so that you can go deeper. Where's the Lord calling you to go deeper? Where is God calling you to go deeper? Well, if he is calling you to go deeper in one aspect, he's going to call you to let something go. But you have to let it go and know that in the deep blue sea, even the Titanic ship is still down there, way beneath the wreckage, waiting for us to discover it, to learn a story. There's stuff that I've dropped, little relics and tokens of my past that I've just dropped in different places because I didn't want to hold on to it anymore. And I don't know, maybe somebody picked that up, whether it's a necklace that was given to me by an ex or something like that. So I just need to have faith that one day those things will come back. And so I reunited with somebody that I hadn't seen in almost 10 years. And this person was a really good friend at one point, you know, and he didn't even remember some of the things that I brought up, the resentments that I had, which is like all the more reason to forgive, because it's like if he didn't even remember it. And so I'm just glad to be in a place where I'm at peace and of service, and both of our lives sort of went in wildly crazy different directions. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by. Both of them converged in Culver City. We live in this town where we live next to Sony and MGM and now and Columbia and now Amazon, and it's this in the smack dab center, you know, of the west side near the beach, and it was the heart of Screenland, and it's got like 40,000 people in its district, and you can run into people that you've known for years, and it's just got this very interesting vibe to it, you know. And so it's got this small town feel, and yet we're smack dab in a big city. And so I love it, because only in a small town would you run into people that you hadn't run into for years and be able to catch up and find out like how you guys have ended up right back at the Shire, despite trying to traverse the world and tackle your own darkness and to come back and to fight the good fight again. It's impressive. So I'm just glad. Told him I'm just glad he's alive, because, you know, he's like, oh, my life this, my life that, and I could be the same way. My life this, my life that. It's like, yo, we're alive. It's been really hard, and somebody needs to compare your life to something tragic that happened in theirs for you to realize how difficult your life sometimes is. And it doesn't mean your life is harder. It doesn't mean you need to compare your, you know, yesterday the daily piece of purpose was everybody's exceptional, but now everybody is willing to accept it. And so when you accept that your life has been exceptional in some way, but somebody else is able to compare their exceptionality to yours and go, yo, like you've been through a lot of grief. I met someone who worked in a hospital during the AIDS, you know, an AIDS epidemic in the 80s. And he's like, not comparing his life to mine, but saying like, your life's been tough and I've seen a lot of grief too. And there's not many people that are going to be able to understand it. And I'm like, you just compare my life to the AIDS epidemic? Well, not getting it, but did you just compare my life to working at an AIDS hospital? Sometimes it's not the same. But the point is the resonance, the feeling of being deep, deep, deep under the water. You might be in a whole different part of the country, whole different ocean. You might be in the Pacific, somebody else is at the Atlantic, but it doesn't matter. You guys are both 100 feet deep, gasping for air. So, let's get started with today's segment, Flipping Failures. Let's go.
We're flipping failures. We hit it out of the park. We make it major. Moves come out of the dark, peel back the layers. We may be missing the mark, but we got flavor. Chef be our savior. We're flipping failures. Wayward son back to his maker. Yo, we blow up the farts, we're to the mayor. We turn up the bass on the Karen, we taking takers.
All right. That would have been Flipping Failures. And we're going to start today with my utmost for his highest. That is how we start every segment of Flipping Failures. Yesterday said, do it now, right? I love it. This guy is like the Kobe for being a Christian. Oswald Chambers, my utmost for his highest. Today is The Inevitable Penalty by Oswald Chambers. Truly, I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. Yesterday, he talked about forgiveness and how I brought up the devil is a legalist. The devil is a legalist. He will try to accuse you, right? But the Lord is just and merciful, and so he will also, right, account for everything because he's just. Everything must be accounted for. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? There's no heaven with a little hell of it. Ooh, little of hell in it. George MacDonald wrote, God is determined to make you pure and holy and right. Not for 1 second will he allow you to escape the scrutiny of the Holy Spirit. Do you remember when the Holy Spirit convicted you? And not everybody here remembers that moment. That's okay. Do you remember when the Holy Spirit convicted you? He urged you to come to judgment right away, but you didn't listen, and the inevitable process began to unfold. Now you are in prison and you won't get out until you've paid the last penny. Is this a God of mercy and love, you ask? From God's point of view, his actions are a glorious ministry of love. His goal is to make you pure and undefiled. But first, he wants you to recognize the disposition you've been showing. He wants you to see that you've been insisting on your right to yourself. The moment you agree to let God change your disposition, I'm very interested in the etymological roots of disposition. Why? We got position, but we got disposition, right? It's your sensitivity, it's your proclivity, it's your willingness to move a certain way, it's your sort of your injuries that make your body move. I'm asking ChatGPT about that. His recreating forces will begin to work. Once you realize God's purpose, which is to get you rightly related to him and then to your fellow human beings, he will tax the last limits of the universe to help you take the right road. You will not get out. The warning Jesus issues here in the Sermon on the Mount points us towards the right road, calling to our conscience. Every moral call has a should behind it, an element that speaks to the will and the conscience, not to the intellect. If you dispute the Sermon on the Mount with your head, you will weaken its appeal to your heart. If you dispute something that's meant for your heart with your head, it'll weaken its appeal. If your relationship to God seems stuck, ask yourself, have I done everything my conscience is telling me to do? Have I paid my debts from God's standpoint? If not, say to the Lord, I'll write that apology tonight. I'll reconcile with that person now. Do now what you will have to do someday, and your relationship will be set right. Brightness to dim. I'm just writing something. Do now what you will have to do someday, and your relationship with God will be set right. I'm reminded of this quote, do what you have to do so that there's actually, I work with Chester. Do what you have to do so that you can be what you want to be. Do what you got to do soon so you can do what you want to do later. Do what you need to do so that you can do what you want to do. All these things. Do now what you will have to do someday, and your relationship with God will be right. We begin our Christian life by believing what we are told to believe. Then we have to go on to assimilate our beliefs so that they work out in a way that redounds to the glory of God. The danger is in multiplying acceptation of beliefs we do not make our own. Yeah, so with disposition, disposito, oh my God, despacito, Latin dispositio, arrangement, order, regulation, disponere, to arrange, set in order, to place, where you are placed, inclined. That's a good way of thinking of it. I'm thinking of my ergonomic setup right now. I'm trying to make sure that my hand is not, too tight, and I'm stretching, all this stuff. Your disposition, how are you inclined, right? And what about the word redound? Redound. What does that mean? Let's find out the meaning of the word. Yeah. Contributing greatly. You always got to see the etymological roots. Ridendare, surge, to surge up, to overflow. So when he says that redounds to the glory of God. We want to multiply the glory of God. So we're reading Letters to a Young Poet. We're on letter 2. I got to prepare it every single day, which I didn't realize, but it's all right. We're working this out. This is only day 2 of this podcast, and over time, I'm going to get more comfortable with work in the control center and learning how to edit and all that stuff. Man, I spent all this time trying to figure out how to get the video and the audio to sync, and ChatGPT is telling me that sync offset doesn't affect the video output, and it totally does. So don't trust ChatGPT for everything. It will just get things blatantly wrong, but sometimes it's a good help. And sometimes I'll use YouTube videos to corroborate, right? Viareggio, near Pisa, Italy, April 5th, 1903. This old. You must forgive me, my dear sir, for only today, gratefully remembering your letter of February 24th. I've been unwell all this time, not exactly ill, but oppressed by an influenza-like lassitude that has made me incapable of anything. We gotta look up the word lassitude. Lassitudinous, like energy, lassus, like a lasso. It's like you're trapped by this rope. Has made me incapable of anything. And finally, as I simply did not get better, I came to the southerly sea, the beneficence, that just means like goodness, of which has helped me once before. Oh, I remember when I first read this, going back to he talked about going to nature. I went to the beach. I was running on the sand. I went to Paradise Cove out in Malibu, just beautiful. You got to take in God's beauty to understand that world is within too. There's a beauty within and without. But I'm not yet well. Writing comes hard to me, and so you must take these few lines for more. Of course, you must know that every letter of yours will always give me pleasure, and only bear with the answer, which will perhaps often leave you empty-handed, for at the bottom, and just in the deepest and most important things, we are unutterably alone. He constantly hammers this thing of aloneness. And for one person to be able to advise or even help another, a lot must happen, a lot must go well. A whole constellation of things must come right in order once to succeed. That disposition, right? Superposition, a whole constellation of things must come right in order once to succeed. Just once. You know how much has to go right just for once to succeed? Today I wanted to tell you just 2 things more. Irony. Do not let yourself be governed by it. Especially not in uncreative moments. So life is serious, but sometimes in creativity you can use irony. In creative moments, try to make use of it as one more means of grasping light. Irony is this sort of detachment. We sort of talked about being down in the depths of this ocean. And so sometimes you need a little bit of a detachment when you're trying to look disinterested at something, especially if it's funny, right? Funniness requires a detachment, but you don't want to be governed by a detachment, right? Then you can't really you can't really pick it up, In creative moments, try to make of grasping life cleanly used, if it too is clean, and one need not be ashamed of it. And if you feel you're getting too familiar with it, if you fear this growing intimacy with it, then turn to great and serious objects, before which it becomes small and helpless. Seek the depth of things. All these themes, I love how all these themes are converging and coalescing into this symphony for learning about solitude. Seek the depth of things. Thither irony never descends. Irony cannot go down into the depths. It's that buoyancy. When you scuba dive, you have a buoyancy control device, a BCD, right? And so as you go down, you have to let out. That's irony. Irony is, let's call it, a buoyancy control device. Irony is a buoyancy control device. One must let it out to go deeper. I mean, that's been comedy for me, for sure. That's how I get into the surface level of things. That's how I go a little bit down, a little bit deeper. When you come thus close to the edge of greatness, test out at the same time whether this ironic attitude springs from a necessity of your nature. He loves necessity, solitude, these things. Does it come out of, does hope spring eternal from, what's that quote? Hope springs eternal from the human breast. That's Alexander Pope. But does this irony come out of the necessity of your nature? For under the influence of serious things, either it will fall from you, if it is something fortuitous, or else it will, if it really innately belongs to you, strengthen into a stern instrument and take its place in the series of tools at which you will have to shape your art. And the second point about which I wanted to tell you is this: of all my books, just a few are indispensable to me, and two even are always among my things. I haven't read enough of. I have the book, I got it, but the Bible, of course, and the books of the great Danish writer Jens Peter Jacobsen. I wonder whether you know his works. You can easily get them, for some of them have come out in very good translation in Recklam's Universal Library. So these are some of the books. I'll skim over it, but you can read them for yourself. But a world will come over you, the happiness, the abundance, the incomprehensible immensity. This guy loves alliteration. I love me some litigious alliteration. I don't know, that is not the right word, but I love alliteration as well. Live a while in these books. I am an affluent, alliterative, I don't know, another A word, a bad word. Okay. Learn from them what seems to you worth learning, but above all, love them. This love will be repaid to you 1,000 and 1,000 times, and however your life may turn, it will, I'm certain of it, run through the fabric of your growth as one of the most important threads among all the threads of your experience, disappointments, and joys. If I am to say from whom I have learned something about the nature of creative work, about its depth and everlastingness, there are but two names I can mention: Jacobsen, probably. Jens Jacobsen, he's a Danish guy. The great writer, and that of Auguste Rodin. I went to Rodin to see him actually in person. He's a real I saw him at there's a big collection of his stuff in Pasadena. Who is not his equal among all artists living today, and all success upon your ways. So we're on letter 3 now, and something I want to do with this is sort of create a workbook around these things. I mean, I already have one. Every prescriptive action implies a question, which implies a diagnosis, which implies a prognosis, which implies a treatment plan, which implies an action plan of how one can prescriptively move forward. And so this book is very prescriptive. The person's saying, hey, what should I do? He says, do this. And then he'll do it, right? And so that's what needs to be done, right? And so this is for myself. Obviously, most of what I'm doing here, it's like it's going to serve me no matter if it serves anybody else. But what's the word? And I'm seeing if anybody's on chat. Okay. What was I going to say? Is that it's going to serve me no matter what, but I would like to find a way to extrapolate this further, especially if I like continue to work as a substitute teacher and people ask me what I do on the side. I could be like, yeah, I teach this. I develop my own curriculum around storytelling. So that's very interesting. Irony is a buoyancy control device. One must let it out to go deeper, and one must grasp on to the grave and serious, so that irony slips away, unless it is born out of the necessity of one's own nature. Yeah, that's a very important thing to stress in that. And that's been something I've struggled with very much in my own nature. I've been a comedian for a very long time. But I've also toyed around with different forms of telling a story, and I've clung hard to this thing that many times was not allowing me to go deeper, but knowing that I still needed that irony to pull me back out, right? So sometimes I would go too deep and had to just come out a little bit for some air. And so all of these storytelling devices and all of these things of ways of expression and articulating oneself are all there, and one should not be defined wholly by just one thing. So let's oh, I didn't show you guys. So I was planning on using like the sketch pad for this thing, but I had totally forgot it to use it. And so yesterday I did this, which is, it's hard to see, but I don't have amazing lighting yet for this stuff. But it says accept the exception upon which acceptance was built, down the line. Oh, and then I have this foam thing because to rest my hands. But let's try and see it. So I don't know how I'm exactly gonna do this. I'm thinking like every day I can take the daily piece of purpose and make a painting um around it or something like that. But that's probably gonna be like after at the end, not on stream, and then I can do it. It's very crude. It's like Kurt Vonnegut and what else, like Dimitri like I'm not a great artist, but I have made some decent stuff in the past, but these are just gonna be very crude little scribbles. But with the quote, accept the exception upon which acceptance was built, so that you may be accepting of your exceptionality. I love, saying the same thing in many different ways. So let's move on to today's daily piece of purpose, which I have a theme song for everything.
Sometimes we feel we're drowning. That doesn't mean that we are out of breath. Sometimes we feel we're dying. That doesn't mean that we are close to death. I know that you're just trying. Sometimes my voice, it's barely but a gasp. I know that you're not lying. Sometimes the truth, it feels so out of grasp. I know that I am not there, but if it was, I'd say to you, break me down, break me through to the other side of you. Give us strength, give us truth. We wanna feel like we're brand new. Break us down, break us through to the other side of you. That's too loud.
This is today's daily piece of purpose. Today's daily piece of purpose is, well, yesterday's was everybody's exceptional, but not everybody is willing to accept it because they're not willing to accept that there is an exception, and his name is Jesus. Only then can you expect the impossible and accept the exceptional view from top of the hill, which was built on the foundation of truth. So today's daily piece of purpose is I'm better at comparing myself to others, and so is everybody else. I was going to say I'm better at comparing myself to others than you, but worse at everything else, which is sort of a joke. But I'm better at comparing myself to others, and so is everybody else. We're all doing this sometimes in the same boat. Many of the people that I have very much compared myself to compare themselves to no end to so many others. And so I'm putting it on the screen right here at the bottom. I met with somebody yesterday, and it was I compared myself actually a lot to him. We were friends, and I went to high school with him, And we were all trying to be popular. We were all trying to just get on. I have some materials. One of the things I'll share with you guys is some of the jokes I wrote about this. Let's find it.
Motherfucker.
Oh,
Motherfucker.
see, too much cursing. I'm not cursing anymore.
I have to purify my past by telling the truth about it, by putting it in the light, right? I'll tell you, my two biggest addictions in life have been pornography and comparing myself to others. And I'm trying to stop both of them. Sometimes I would do both of them at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you look at my search history, you wouldn't know where one began and the other ended. You know what I mean? You'd be looking at my search bar, it'd be like, young, ebony, teen, become successful entrepreneur. You're like, dang, this guy isn't perverted, he's motivated. Like, Latina takes big promotion at Fortune 500. Like, wow, this guy supports diversity. Interracial couple builds orphanage. You know what I mean? Like, this guy wants to be a philanthropist,
So today's daily piece of purpose, mate, is I'm better at comparing myself to others, and so is everybody else. So yesterday, I met with somebody that I went to high school with, and he was I don't even want to call him my high school bully. What's crazy is he didn't even remember the thing that I had held on to for so long that was defining my narrative, right? I wrote a show about it, not about it, but like there were these things that I had held on to, and he's been in so much pain. He told me he struggles to look in the mirror, and what's wild is he thinks about doing improv, all the time, and I was encouraging him to chase after that. And so, his name is Jeremy. And so the other thing that I brought as my latest show, right, is I say this show is sort of about the 5 men I've compared myself most to, and their names are Jack, Jamel, Jeremy, and Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo actually performed at our high school prom, so I have a video that I'll play. But yeah, it's Jack was the guy that I compared myself most to, and Jack Knight was very successful. Like, starting out in stand-up, Jack was the guy, the first round draft pick, the prom king, the one. And while I was out in London performing my first solo hour about overcoming suicidal thoughts, which I premiered at the Orlando Fringe Festival where I was doing this show, Jack Knight killed himself. And I said, and he stole my bit, that thief. Well, he finished it. I never committed fully to it. He was the better comedian. And then the joke is, comedians committing suicide is like a DJ Khaled song. Another one. And I have all this these sound cues and stuff, but Jack is a real person, and he was we were everywhere together. But look at this. This is Comedy Central Clusterfest. This was like the big festival that Jerry Seinfeld was headlining. That's Jack. He was so good. This is his thing. It was on WME. He was rep by one of the biggest, like, Entertainment Weekly, CBS. He was a voice on Big Mouth. He had his own TV show, all this stuff, and he's not here anymore. And he was 28, and I'm about to turn 30, and it's just wild because he was the guy. Like, it's like, how could I compare myself to somebody that was, on top of the world, right? I was trying to get to that top, and I had no idea what he was going through. And I wrote some song lyrics about it at some point when I was out in London, getting ready to perform at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I found out about this, and it was just so It just didn't make any sense to me. There was a person that would perform in the same venue as me named Chris Milner, and he was a folk singer, and he had a beautiful song called Company Man. And the lyrics went, do you remember the writing on the wall? Calls for intervention in the days of Albemarle. We took our, ooh, I can't sing that. We took our chances and we gave another view. And the young men played their legitimate dice on tables green and new. Soon the inclination changed. A generation came. Voices called for action. It was simple, it was plain. But they said it was a teenage phase, all just a flash in the pan. So I stayed on the front line, and you became a company man, right? Jack was with CBS, WME, CAA, all the different acronym, the DEI. No, I'm just kidding. The DEI, FBI. No, he was with all the top acronymic comedy organizations. About to be on network television, about to get his big break, and man on top jumped off today. Guess the long climb up wasn't worth the pay. Guess I'll climb down now, throw myself away, see a nicer view, a more permanent stay. Top of my mind make the climb look easy. Less oxygen make my mind feel queasy. Hot summer shine make my hair look greasy. Gotta jump down, no land looks steezy. Goals not to climb, goals not to jump high. Goals not to win, goals not to look fly. Goal is to float, goal is for peace. Fly in the sky, he pulled his piece. He shot himself. Gunshot rang like a bell at dawn. Wake up, boys, our time is on. Ain't no top, just a pile of dead bodies. Better be good, cause a coal makes naughty. Goal is to stop, goals not to flop, goals not to want. Black is the rock, I'm off the top. I'm off my rocker, but a rock star nonetheless. Let me down, I'm blessed. Lost in the mine, trying to find a nice diamond. Better make time for the coal start shining. Goals not to flop, goals not to want. Black is the rock, I'm off the top. I'm off my rocker, but a rock star nonetheless. Let me down, I'm blessed. I'm off my rocker, but a rock star nonetheless. Let us down, we're blessed. He didn't ever come back down from the mountain, from the top. I think about that. I think about what mountains I'm trying to climb. Yesterday we talked about the Baldwin Hill steps. We talked about what top we're trying to get to, and how that price of exceptionality leads to solitude and aloneness. But if you do get to that top, as many people do, you gotta come down. You gotta come down. And that come down can be difficult. You know, I wrote a verse trying to process this comparison that I would feel, but at the same time this feeling like I needed to just be alone. I needed to just be in solitude. Van Gogh made some of his best paintings when he was locked up in the psych ward. And so I wrote, I am a prodigy, I'm more like a Van Gogh. I need some privacy, white walls like fresh snow. Built up inside of me, body a temple. Split like lobotomy, guns out akimbo. I'm about to massacre this imposter triathlon, trying to frown on diaspora. I'm the servant of masterhood. Let me lecture a masterclass how to backwards a broken cast. Need a fix like an addict, so I'm gon' sever the lavishness. No, I ain't having it, got no space in the cabinet. I started laughing less when my death became accident. Dreams are for others, cause they're asleep in the end, and when I got mine achieved, I try to go back to bed. When the night terrors started this one, I started to think maybe dreaming was remedy for a man at the brink, on the brink of a cliff. So I started to climb, then I took a step in and burning felt so divine, so my skin became crisp, then my head became light. Over desolate land, my soul started to fly. I saw this darkened abyss over crystal clear light. But I couldn't walk on it, so I walked through the sky. Everything's not sardonic. Irony is not ruling everything. Negative, not demonic. My heart broken through sonic barriers, now platonic. I wanted to be on it. Wanted brother to sell me. God keep me in the temple, keep Kusamas the holy. Rebuild gallery showings that live on walls in my head. I think safer than sorry, living liver than dead. Make me washer of washers, my soul feet underneath. Tame my tongue on no tucker. Make me meeker than meek. God, I want to be see-through so I can live in the clouds. When you bury this body, I know the wall is coming down. I'm so glad I'm awake in a palace greater than sin. My body's temple's been broken. 3 days he built it again. Jason Derulo performed at my high school prom. This is a real thing. I mean, imagine. Look. This is in 2013. Check this out. That's Jamal, right? Jamal was the smartest kid at our school, went to Harvard, all right? And, you know, he was one of my best friends. And you got Jeremy, who was a cool kid and has been struggling for many years. You got Jack, who's cool. Like, I've very much been around exceptionality in my life, right? I was a very good student. I had good grades. I was very good at comparing myself to others. But I'm better at comparing myself to others. But so is everybody else. We're just all comparing ourselves to different people. I'm better at comparing myself to others, but so is everybody else. We're just all comparing ourselves to different people. I don't know where this is going to go, but to be reconnected with these people that I grew up with has been a wonderful experience. To feel like 30 is just a doorway back to 16. 31 might be a doorway back to 13. That we must become like children to inherit the kingdom of God. That life is like a maze of doors and it all opens from the side you're on. Keep on pushing, try as you may, you're going to wind up where you started from. That's Cat Stevens. We all are meant to go back down into the depths, find out where we came from, what we left behind. And sometimes we got to pick things back up. But every time we go back down there into the depths to pick things back up, we got to let out a little air. We got to let out a little irony. We got to be a little more serious, a little more risk-taking. And when we get down into that depth, sometimes it's just us. Sometimes it's just us down there. Sometimes we discover the Titanic. We discover wreckage. We discover other people's things that they just left down there, waiting for us maybe to pick it up because they let it go. But that thing that we find might be a beautiful story that now becomes part of our own. Maybe we go down there searching for something else of profundity, of great depth that we let go of so long ago when we were down in the depths. And we want that, but we discover something better. Maybe we're coming down, holding on to something that allows us to be able to go down to that depth and have the courage to go down there. But we have to let it go. We have to let go of that weight because we can't stay down there. We can't stay down there. We only have limited time and energy and capacity. And if we stay down there too long, we're going to need to borrow from somebody else. And even if they have that spare piece of oxygen that we can borrow, they don't have enough for us to take it all from them. So we got to let go of something. We got to come back up for air. And when we go up to the top of that mountain, where we look at that view and we go, man, I'm so much better than everybody else because I made it here and I'm all alone. And you see everybody and you compare yourself to the totality of existence and you see the beauty. You got to get back down. You can't jump off. You got to go slowly, slowly down. You got to make sure that you're ready to walk back down. I'm better at comparing myself to others, but so is everybody else. We're all just comparing ourselves to different people. They always say compare yourself to yesterday, to who you were yesterday. Compare yourself to who you're supposed to be. Not sure. Better at comparing myself to others, but so is everybody else. We're all just comparing ourselves to different people. Compare yourself to who you're supposed to be. Not who you were. Not who you might be. But who you will become, as the acorn is the oak tree. I've always been who was meant to be. That's something I learned. It's a metaphysical concept. The acorn is the oak tree. I've always been who I was meant to be. The acorn has everything inside of it to become the tree, but it needs proper nurturing. It needs. We need to. We're supposed to compare ourselves to other people. We're supposed to compare ourselves. It's impossible not to. We're meant to live in community. That acorn needs to be around other oak trees. It needs to be fed by other oak trees. It needs to be fed by the soil. But in order for it to become who is supposed to be, it has to look up. It has to look up and be grounded. Look up to others, but keep yourself grounded. That is today's daily piece of purpose. Yeah, today, I don't know, when did you hop on stream, May? May's on the chat. I almost didn't do this show because my hand was like throbbing this morning. So I'm very glad I did, because I always learn something. So at the beginning, we talked about, I'm finally going to be posting this online and stuff. Yesterday I spent all this time trying to get it audio and video synced and all this stuff. So I finally like got that figured out. So I wasn't able to post yesterday's episode. And then part of the stream, I think the beginning of my stream on Twitch, you can watch the beginning, but I talked about scuba diving and being down in the depths. But the guy that bullied me, quote unquote, didn't even remember what he did. And he's been caught in this like Groundhog Day level of existence, feeling like he messed up his life at 19 and now he's almost 30, and like he wants to keep going back through that door and reignite his innocence that maybe was never really there. And so I talked about just like, you always gotta, every time you want to go back down into the depths to find something that you left there, you have to let go of something else. Let's pray for that. I prayed for your eczema yesterday. What is there anything that you need to let go of? You can, May, like anything that you feel led to let go of. You don't have to say it specifically. But yeah, things that you're holding on to that are holding you back. What are you holding on to that's holding you back, May? That's my question. And I'll pray for that. And while you type that, I'm gonna stretch because I need to stretch. And as you if you type that or not, I'm just gonna start praying. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this opportunity to learn what needs to be let go of to understand that there are unlimited opportunities that you give us to go back through doors that we may have previously thought closed. That you will always give us just enough so that we can reach the depths that you need us to go, so that we may find things that we have left there that you need us to see, or things other people have left there. Or you'll call us to the tallest mountains, but the second we feel like we need to just stay there and make a house there, and that's where we want to be forevermore, that you know that you need to call us somewhere else. So I pray for that you reveal to me, to Jeremy, to James, to everybody that is out there, that what it is that we need to let go of. I pray that we can be freed from this, as all this stuff is about freedom, right? Being set free. Pray that you show us what is dragging us down. What are the comparisons that are robbing us of joy? Show us the ideal to compare us to. Show us your face and glory that we can see, that your burden is easy, your yoke is light. Your burden is light, your yoke is easy. That it doesn't mean that we don't have to carry something, but that you can carry it for us when we feel like we can't. So I pray that whatever May's holding on to, that he's able to let go of it. I pray for Jeremy right now. I really pray for Jeremy that you reveal to him that he can have the strength to bear the pain that will lead to him being able to confront it. But that when he can't, that you can. That when he can't forgive, that you can. So I pray for that. In Jesus' name, amen. This has been Nathanael Has Thoughts and Prayers, day 2. I love you, and I don't need to know you in order to know that you have a purpose, and I invite you to tell the truth and suffer the consequences. Until next rhyme, amen. And to outro the show, hopefully I won't forget the lyrics, but this is I Feel Famous.
Singing in an empty room that I paid for. No one's here to hear me sing my creation. I'm relegated to the streets that I came from, Culver City. From now on I'll sing it for free, 'cause no one cares but me. I'm wandering about my head and I hate it. Alone I'm just a see-through ghost, I feel naked. They tell me I'm gonna be the GOAT. You just wait, one day they'll know. Singing this song alone, I feel famous. Do I wanna die happy? Do I wanna die famous? Do I wanna die with reputation? Do I die nameless? See my face up in the clouds, body dead faceless. Do I aim for the top or put my quiver down aimless? I know the answer, but it comes with what ifs. I've seen the cancer, even smelled a strong whiff. Should I cut my ties and let it go and see just where I land? I know the tiny dancer sees the seams just for the band. I'm just tired, I just wanna give up. I don't wanna be famous, I just wanna sit down. Man, I know I got love, 'cause I get it from the source. Only when I surrender and put down the sword, being free doesn't mean I'm worth nothing. I tied the currency. What if the whole world's bluffing? I wanna make a living, I wanna make a house. Everything's a place to dwell for the God of life above. I worship life and all that proliferates. But now prolific nowadays, synonymous with power play. The algorithm automates some money generates. What if I want to play a game that costs the hate that love equates? If I ever see the day when heaven's gates are paved with clay, that's when I know the gold it takes was stowed away in caves of gray. Know the angels always say that Lucifer used to play, but till the day he saw the way that power took the pain away. I know the angels always say that Lucifer, he needs to pay, but what if all the debts we owe him we could just erase? I want to be free. I want to be free. I want to be free. But if the means weren't nothing, then nothing's what I want to be. I want to be free. I want to be free. I want to be free. And if the means weren't nothing, then nothing's what I want to be. God above, I lift my hands. I don't know what I'm praying for now. Not sure where I'm supposed to land. The high's been what I'm aiming for now. Guess I got the target wrong. No, you're somewhere through the middle. My whole life it's been a blur. I guess I'm playing second fiddle. Know the major keys, just a small step away. I know a turn of phrase is right on time. I know the major keys, just a small step away. One more step, it'll sound alright. Singing in the empty room that I prayed for. No one's here to hear me sing my creation. I'm relegated to the streets that I came from. Now I'll say for free, and that's just how it's supposed to be. God bless you.
God bless you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I will pray for you, May, about what you just typed in the chat. Thank you. God bless you, and see you tomorrow. All right, May, so I'm still on stream. I just stopped recording that episode, but I think, you know, it was so hard to just like get this up and running yesterday. ChatGPT told me that sync offset doesn't sync audio and video, which it does. It was just wrong. And so as far as like the streaming with the chess and the stuff on top of it, that I'll continue to do. Today's, you know, I'm here at 11 a.m. I think that's good. It was about an hour. I could keep the show at an hour. I need to learn how to post it and stuff. So I think that I'm not really gonna what's the word? I'm not gonna be so like I gotta do this today until next week. So like next week is when I'll add that other stuff on top of it. I think that's just how it has to be, because, you know, like my arm is already hurt from working so much yesterday, and I gotta take breaks and work out and take care of myself and stuff like that. So, but the original intention and the idea behind all of that stuff will continue to be part of this. And so hopefully the video and audio is synced on this recording, so I don't have to like learn how to edit that and download a bunch of editing apps and stuff. But so yeah, I'm gonna take a break and I'll be right back in a little bit. I'm gonna put my, actually this was the last thing I filmed.
I know what you're thinking.
So I'll show you this. This was one of the specials I filmed. While I take a break real quick. Hope you enjoy.
This is Nathanael Philip Mosier. I know what you're thinking. This guy doesn't know what I'm thinking. And you're right, I can't read your mind, but I can tell you this show is unlike anything you've ever seen. This is Nathanael Philip Mosier Has Friends, where I, Nathanael Philip Mosier, introduce you to my talented, wonderful, thoughtful, and engaging friends. Each live show is moved forward by an intention in the form of a question, shaping the material presented. This show's question was, what is fun to you? And we had Terrence Rutledge doing stand-up, Sean Williams doing poetry, Callie Pascal doing music, Nehemiah Williams doing song, and delivering a super duper special surprise to Brittany Wilson and yours truly doing all of the above. This show ends with a super duper massive pooper scooper special surprise. You don't want to miss it. Without further ado, welcome to the show.
Welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Hopefully I'll share with you some things that I don't know. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my friends. One day we'll learn the ways to cut our ties and make amends. Welcome to your show. Welcome to our show. Hopefully in time you'll spend with me, we both will grow. Welcome to my home. Welcome to our home. Lend a helping hand to me and we can take it slow. Welcome to our show. Welcome to your show. Hopefully in time you'll spend with me, we both will grow. Welcome to my home. Welcome to your home. Lend a helping hand to me and we can take it slow. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Nathanael Philip Mosier, that's me, as friends. Give it up for yourselves officially. This is a show where I, Nathanael Philip Mosier, welcome you to my wonderful, talented, thoughtful, and engaging friends. Tonight, we have Terrence Rutledge in the back. Give it up for Terrence. He's going to be doing comedy for you guys. We got Nehemiah Williams. He's going to be doing original music with a bevy of special guests, including and not limited to Levi Williams, Brittany Wilson, and yours truly, Nathanael Philip Mosier. So, what's exciting about this show is each show has a unifying theme in the form of a question. And tonight's question is, what is fun to you? Each guest will answer that question in their chosen form of the spoken word. And together, we will embark on an adventure to seek and to receive. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I work as a substitute teacher by day. And the way I start every class is by taking attendance. So let's get to know each other. I know some of these people. You, sir, what's your name? Andrew. Give it up for Andrew. How'd you hear about the show, Andrew?
Nehemiah.
Yeah? How many people are here for Nehemiah? How many people are here for Brittany? How many people here for Terrence? No, yeah. Come on, I got it. What do you do for work? Are you still working? No? What did you retire? What did you used to do for work? Nothing? So you retired from doing nothing? Tell me your secrets. So you're doing nothing? You retired from doing nothing? Oh, that is a perfect segue. What does fun mean to you, man? So I love that answer. So Andrew, right, said fun to him is hanging out with his friends and family, right? What kind of things do you like to do with your friends and family? going to your house next week. That's amazing. Give it up for Andrew. Let's see. Let's get someone over here. Yeah. I know her. Lola. Give it up for Lola. So introduce yourself, Lola. What do you do for work?
Interior designer.
Interior designer. That's amazing. How long have you been doing that?
3 months.
3 months? New career. You gonna retire soon? That's amazing. Is that fun to you?
Yes.
Yeah, what is fun about interior design to you? That's so interesting.
I think getting to know families and client stories and creating.
Getting to know client stories and creating. That's awesome. So it's a relational thing as well. Hanging with friends and family, getting to know people, right? That's an element of fun to me as well. What else do you like to do for fun?
I like to do puzzles, think, laugh.
Do you ever think while doing puzzles?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to eat.
Eat. Give it up for eating. Yes. Who doesn't love eating? Let's go to Andrew's for some barbecue. Play some puzzles. All right, one more person. Let's get someone in the back with the glasses. He looked over there. You're right there. The mustache. Yeah. What about you? What's your name?
Richard.
Richard. Give it up for Richard. What are you about? What do you do for work? You retired?
I'm semi-retired as a sign language interpreter.
As a sign language interpreter. So you only translate half the time. Semi-retired.
Retired as a full-time, but I work as a freelance interpreter now.
Ah.
I want to, and I choose to.
That's amazing. How long have you been doing that?
Full-time?
Full time?
12 years.
12 years. Wow. Is that fun to you, or is it just a job?
I love it.
What is it about that that's fun to you?
Well, I had deaf parents growing up, and this is a way to connect back to my.
That's a beautiful thing. Give it up for. That's lovely. Part of this show is we get to answer that question together and come to a deeper understanding and hopefully make some friends in the process. And so, the first friend I want to introduce you to is one of the most effortlessly funny people I know. And I met him in the terribly free and fun world of open mic stand-up comedy in Los Angeles. Now, I'll tell you something many of you might not know, but there are actually 9 levels to hell. It goes limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and Los Angeles open mic stand-up comedy. Otherwise known as betrayal and treachery. However, within this context, this man was a beacon of light, and his jokes are pithy, terse, simple, and awfully packed full of punch. Please give a warm welcome to Terrence Rutledge.
All right, everybody, how we doing? Yeah. So where are my Muslims at? All right, let's give it up for Allah. That's right. Where are my Christians at? Let's make some noise for Jesus. All right, where are my Hindus at? All right, Hare Krishna, let's make some noise for Krishna, Vishnu, Brahma, Devi, Ganesha, Hanuman, the Monkey King, Vanana, Chandra, Parashurama, Balarama, Yamarama, Parvati, this rock I found outside, Saramati, Bhakti, Ajamati, Vana, Durga, Kurma, Varasha, Kuber, Krishna, Vishnu, Brahma, Rama, Shiva, Indra, Kali, Devi, Ganesha, 330 million more gods to go. Messiah the fish, Kurma the tortoise, Pharaoh the boar, Narashima the man lion, Banana the dwarf, this other rock I found outside. Parashurama the Brahmin warrior, Brahma the king hero of the epic Ramayana and the slayer of Rihanna, Dana, one who gives material wealth it. These other rocks I found outside. Nandi, the bull, Indra, Chakra, the god of weather, storms, rain, and war. These other rocks I found outside. All right, yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah. All right, where are my atheists at? Yeah, let's give it up for nothing. These people don't believe in anything. Where are my Jews at? Where are my proud Jews? Come on, be proud, Jews. All right, no Jews, that's okay. Man, you guys ever read the Jewish Bible and the Torah? God says, I want you to rest on the seventh day. But man, that's hard to do. Because Muslims say it's Friday, Jews say it's Saturday, Christians say it's Sunday. I don't really want to gamble here, so I just don't work any day. Man, you know it's hard to be an atheist. Once you go atheist, your lifespan decreases by an eternity. And man, what's up with Hindus? You know, they believe in reincarnation. That could work out good. You could come back better. You could also come back worse. You could come back as like a dog, a rat, or an open mic stand-up comedian. What about my Jehovah's Witnesses? Any Jehovah's Witnesses? All right, you know my honest Jehovah's Witness, and she told me that Jesus came back in 1918. We just couldn't see him. I was like, okay, and I went to church on Sunday. You just couldn't see me. Man, but back to these rocks, okay? Now, I have some things I want to tell you about these rocks. How are these rocks like religion? You see, right here we have an igneous volcanic rock. And what happens is that the rock melts and it erupts as lava, and then it's reborn again as a rock. These are the born-again Christian rocks. You have here this metamorphic rocks. These rocks are deep down in the earth, just minding their own business, doing their own thing, until they're forced to do things against their will. These are the my parents forced me to go to church on Sunday rock. You gotta hear this.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, I'm just gonna today while I'm here. Yeah, I don't think I could do the stream that I've been trying to do quite. But that's okay. Because it was fine. Yeah, the idea is that we're just setting it up so that I can later and continuing to make things clearer. But let's do a little bit. I don't want to make things too sore. But let's see what I have ready in terms of chess and all this stuff. We'll play a little bit. Yeah. I did get some cool new cards. I do want to check what Pokemon stuff is the meta right now. Which to see if I have any of the new cards that people are using. Which I don't yet. But it's still fun to see. I like to see if I have any new
Great
cards.
ideas can come from anywhere. With Wix, you decide where they go. Put your ideas into play with
This card might be my favorite new control variant of the set. Hey guys, Zen here, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm sharing with you a Serena deck list with the brand new Serena card that we got in the Eevee Grove set. Now, I personally love this one a little bit more than the other one. The previous one, you have to flip 3 coins. If you get lucky, you can do up to 150. If you don't, you do 0. However, for this one, only 1 energy guarantees 50 damage, and you take a card, a random card from your opponent's hand, and shuffle it back into their deck. This, coupled with something like Mars, can really control your opponent and just out-tempo them. They're not allowed to do anything unless they get super lucky in top deck. But as you'll see in today's video, there's only one top decker in this town, and I guess it might be me, you guys. Here's the full deck list. We're calling it Queen Arrow. We're running 2 Bond Suites, 1 Stanene, double Serenas, 1 Rowlet, and 1 Decadui EX, which actually is so clutch. It comes in handy. Like, this is probably such a good EX Pokemon. Now, there is room to be said, like, maybe throw in a How supporter card for this. However, Decadui is more like a final gambit. That's the thing that wins you games. You snipe their EX in the back line. You'll see in the first or second match, and then you just win that way. So I don't think How is really required because
Question is, do I have these cards? That's what I gotta check. Because it's a new Serena. Oh, I do. Oh, I do. What is this? Opponent. Decidue. How do you pronounce that? Okay. I also want to make sure I use the sketch pad and stuff as well. So there's just a lot to think about with this. So I don't want to stream it until I don't want to stream myself preparing it until I'm, you know, there. So actually, yeah, I don't want to stream my preparation. Are you still there, May? If you're not there anymore, I'm just gonna hop off stream today because I really want to like be in a position where I can it's tiring to talk. But oh yeah, so I'm let's see. Yeah, but I think thanks for hopping on. I'll hopefully be here tomorrow again at 11 a.m. And I'll be posting today's episode on YouTube and Spotify and stuff probably the day after. But you can watch on Twitch. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off today just to feel a little more like less scattered because like my arm nearly fell off this morning. It was really sore. So but yeah, God bless you. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for hopping on, May. I'm gonna head out.